Over the weekend, there were a couple of mass shootings, and the leftist elitists have a different view than normal, average, everyday Americans. Average, everyday Americans say, you know what, we need to blame the individuals instead of the guns, and we need to get to the root of the problem and say it was this person and not the guns. But the leftist elitists say, no, we need to take the guns away. And one example was what happened in Buffalo, New York, where 13 individuals were shot and 10 of them lost their lives. But one person who was an eyewitness and actually talked to the shooter got on camera and was interviewed, and he talked about the mind frame of the person.
I seen him, and he looked strange in the neighborhood, but he had a genius shirt on. So I wanted to see if he was a genius, and we sat and talked about string theory, critical race theory, beginning of civilization, and he seemed like he was a genius. Actually, he said he came up just to see the countryside, and he was gonna go out camping. He bought a big thing, a jug of water. He had a little nervous twitch to him. I bought him something to drink, and we sat and talked for about an hour and 45 minutes after seeing the pictures and seeing the blue car that I seen him got into yesterday. So it's a shock right now, and he told me his name was Peyton. So it's a shock. Well, I went in there and got me some a juice, and I didn't want to sit there today. So I walked across the street and I opened up my juice. And as I opened up my juice, I heard what I knew wasn't a firecracker. And I looked up and I seen the guy shooting people. Then I seen a security guard run inside. And then I seen him going after him, shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on, and glasses and helmet. And then he put the gun to his head, and he dropped it. He took off his gloves. He took off his gun. He put it down. He took off his vest, and then he got on his knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they arrested him at that point.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you were telling me about the security guard, the former Buffalo police officer who has tragically died in this incident. You were telling me today he told you no lingering around the store. We gotta keep it clear.
Yes.
You credited that man with saving your life.
Yes, I heard him say to someone, "There's no lingering around the store." So me knowing that he was a Buffalo police officer, I never really wanted to give him an opportunity to say anything to me. So when I do go, I shop and I leave, and that's the reason why I left, because I heard him tell people that a couple times. So you don't ever really got to tell me something 4 or 5 times for me to understand. And from what I heard, he went back and he shot at him when he went in the store. So yeah, but if he wasn't there, I would have been sitting there. So I'm definitely thankful that I heard him say that. Yes, I'm definitely thankful to Mr. Salters. Yes, definitely.
And also, he gave a salute to the former police officer who lost his life trying to save others. So, being a normal American, trying to get to the root of the problem, critical thinking and all that good stuff. But let's see what the mayor of Buffalo, New York has to say about everything that occurred.
We are getting close to dropping that. Law enforcement has been working together around the clock since this occurred at every level, federal, state, county, city, and pieced together very quickly that this was a racially motivated attack. The individual that committed this crime drove from several hours away. They were not from this community, and they drove here with the express purpose of taking black lives.
You know, Mr. Mayor, to sort of see this, we have this toxic stew of this growing right-wing ideology, easy access to guns, and our permissive internet culture that sort of rewards sharing some of this violent ideas. Where do we go first? How do you make African Americans in Buffalo feel safe today? Let me start there.
Well, the thing that this tragedy shows us is that this can occur anywhere. It's not just Buffalo. It's how to make people all across this country feel safe. It's not just African Americans. It's how to make people in urban America, suburban America, and rural America feel safe, the only way to do it is to really get to the point of sensible gun control in this country, to end hate speech on the internet and social media, to stop the proliferation of hateful ideology. Those are the ways that we make black people feel safe in Buffalo, that we make people feel safe all across this country.
So I was following him for a minute until he started talking about gun control and hate speech. One, gun control wouldn't do anything to save any of these individuals. Actually, it's in New York. So New York has pretty strict gun laws, and right now they're going through a rise in crime because criminals have guns. I don't know if you know this. If you make laws, criminals are still going to break them because that's why they're called criminals. So if you tell them they not supposed to have guns, they're still going to get guns. Law-abiding citizens won't because they follow the law. It's the definitions of words. Like, it's push past that. But also, what would making more gun laws do? Because this person targeted this specific area because of the strict gun laws that are already there. Majority of mass shootings happen in areas where they have strict gun laws. So that's not helping anything. And hate speech, really, hate speech. If he wouldn't have heard or seen bad words, he wouldn't have done anything and shot up this whole grocery store. I'm pretty sure hate speech doesn't play a part in this, but I know that the leftist politicians and elitists want to use hate speech because this is a talking point, because they actually believe this individual was a Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump voter, even though if you read his manifesto, he's pretty leftist. And I don't know if you know this as well, but leftists can be racist. This is something that leftist elitists do all the time. They never let a good crisis go to waste. So a mass shooting would help them push their narrative, especially when they're losing the war on gun control, because more and more average American everyday citizens like you and me, we know that we need guns. It's a necessary tool.
It's ridiculous. I mean, what else can you say? It's ridiculous. Something has to change from the bottom to the top, because they're not going to do nothing. We got to do something, because this is ridiculous. I feel bad for the people that was in there, because after the security guard got shot, he got a gun shooting people still. If more people were armed and knew what they were doing with a gun, because it's not the gun, it's the person with the gun that don't know how to act. So, I just hope something comes from this.
This man understands and has common sense. If more individuals were able to have the right to bear arms in his state, then that situation probably wouldn't have happened. If they would have had the proper firearm training, if this retired police officer would have had backup, then he probably would have lived today. But the leftist media and the leftist politicians want to tell us that gun control is the right way, even though we see in cities and states like Chicago and New York where they have strict gun laws and gun crime is up, because guess what? Criminals don't follow laws. But if you think criminals follow laws, tell me why. Do you think gun control is the right way, or just say, let's give everybody the right to bear arms like it says in the Constitution, or we could just follow what Joe Biden says?
I know this has been a hobby horse of mine for a long time. Got it done once. We should also ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country.
Which probably wouldn't stop a bad guy from buying those things. So, I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another episode of the TJ Evans Show. Y'all remember, do your own research. Don't take my word for gold. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay prayed up. Like and follow the pages: YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Facebook, Royal Family Studios. Do all that good stuff and tell your friends about us. Peace. And I did say shootings because there was another shooting that happened in California over the weekend where a Chinese immigrant ran into a Taiwanese church and shot 5 individuals. One person ended up dying, but it wasn't covered that much by the mainstream media because it's not dealing with black and white like Buffalo is, and also it's dealing with China, and we know how the corporate media feels about China, and Taiwan isn't a real place. Remember?
Would the WHO consider Taiwan's membership? Hello? Would the
I'm sorry, I can't hear. I couldn't hear your question.
Okay, yeah. Let me repeat the question.
No, that's okay. Let's move to another one then.
Right, because I'm actually curious on talking about Taiwan as well, on Taiwan's case.